Hey, I have to let you guys know something that blew my mind. Okay, you see this behind me? This Dyness 12 volts, 100 amp hour, 12 volt battery can run this table saw and my dust extractor, or just my homemade dust extractor. It has a dust deputy on top, has a 5-gallon bucket underneath. That way the dust, when it goes through my hose right here, it would get circled around. All the dust particles will fall down to a 5-gallon bucket while it sucked the rest to my 6.5 horsepower rigid vacuum cleaner. This consumes a lot of amperage. Even this actually consumes more than my table saw, but my table saw has to be idle. Now, if I'm cutting wood on it, yeah, then my table saw will be using more amperage than my dust extractor. And the battery is able to run my table saw and my dust extractor at the same time, no problem. Alrighty, well, let's turn on the table saw first. Well, I just did something stupid. I ended up scratching myself or anything. So what my plan is now, since I got this corner up, my plan is to just start prying this. Now, since I'm just looking at it, you have, I'm pretty sure this is going to be a 6. Guess what? Got a battery that they wanted me to review. Basically, this company knows I've had a problem with my other batteries, which is, of course, you see my other videos. I had a problem with some of these batteries where they're not warranty if you buy them through Amazon. This company here reached out to me. They said that if you buy this battery, doesn't matter where you buy it at, if it has their name on it, they will warranty it. So if you buy this to Amazon, it doesn't matter where you buy it at. If it has the brand name, they stand behind it. So they sent me out this battery for me to look at and see how I like it. So without further ado, let's start unboxing this. Now, this company has a lot of different batteries out there. They got golf cart batteries. They have smart batteries. This battery here is not a smart battery. It's just like their regular 12.8 volt, 100 amp hour battery. So this doesn't have like the Bluetooth functionality and stuff like that. It's just a battery. It's a 12.8 volt mini trolling motor. Nice little handles on top. Really light. Oh, and they even got all the information on it. Charge, nominal capacity, 1,280 watt hours. I also love how this thing I guess it's like a holographic kind of, so I actually like how that is kind of holographic. I like that a lot. Well, it's with any battery. I need to make sure that it's not dead on arrival. 12.98, close to 13. So it's not fully charged, not empty. It's about around 50% state of charge. So, as well as everything, I want to do a capacity test on, but I want to make sure I fully cycle this about 3 times to make sure the cells in the battery gets balanced, because a lot of times the balance don't start happening until the battery gets almost topped off. So I'm going to charge this thing up. I'm going to run it until it dies, charge it up, dies, then we'll come back and we'll actually do a low amperage capacity test on it to see if it actually gives you the 100 watt hours at 12.8 volts. So I got a lithium ion charger right here. All right, so I got it set to charge on high, charging at 12.8 amps. Okay, what I'm doing now, I'm going to use this 12 volt inverter to drain this battery. It's not totally ready yet because this battery is not 100% state of charge, but I'm just trying to get everything all ready so when I'm ready to start the test, I can do it. All right, so when this thing is finally ready to be discharged, right now I'm still charging this, But when it's finally able to discharge, all I got to come over here to do is come over here. Is that it's got to flip the switch, and it's going to turn on the inverter. And you may ask, what am I going to use to discharge it? Well, if you look behind you, I have a golf cart, and I'm just going to plug up the golf cart to charge up the golf cart from a 12-volt battery. The inverter I have is a 3,000 watt inverter, and the golf cart normally uses right under 2,000 watts to charge the battery. So I don't know how long it's going to take, but right now it's not ready. I just want to get this set up so that way when it's ready, I can hook it up. All right, so we had the battery topped off all the way. All right, now it's time to plug up the golf cart and turn this right here on. So first I'm going to turn that on. That's 0 amps. And then I'm going to throw the cord on the ground. Okay, cord's in. And now this should jump up to about, there it is, 12 amps. There we go. And right now we are charging with 890 watts, so I can go ahead and unplug my charger. Don't need my charger hooked up to the battery no more. See how long it takes. Right now it's 12:16. You're not gonna believe this. It has literally been an hour and 30 minutes since I set this test. And the problem is the golf cart is almost full. So basically, I'm still using lead acid batteries in my golf cart. So it was probably around 50% state of charge with lead acid. I have the 1, 2, 3, 4. I have like the 6-volt batteries. And so, yeah, it's about halfway charged. What I had to do was I had to hook up my heat gun. I got on low setting right now. And so basically on low setting, if I turn off the heat gun, remember it was like 800 watts going into the golf cart. Now it's down to 375 watts. So it's going to take forever. So what I do is I put my heat gun here. So it'll be back up to almost a kilowatt. Now if I turn it to high, it actually goes to 1.4. Now this battery is supposed to be rated at a continuous 100 amps. And right now I'm actually pulling out 118 amps from the battery. I'm not ready to see what the max of it is. I just wanted to get the battery through its first cycle. So I'm just going to turn this back to low, and I'm going to leave it running at 77 amps until hopefully the remainder of the test. I'm just going to leave it like that. And the timer now is 1:41. Literally almost an hour and a half has elapsed. So, well, it's 2 days later, and this battery, I just got it topped off. So today we're going to start the capacity test. All right, so I got my capacity tester right here. Now it is hard to do this. Let me zoom out real quick. So it is hard to do this with just one hand. So please forgive me. Let's go ahead and get this thing here all hooked up. And before I even turn it on, before I power it up, I want to make sure I turn on these knobs to 0 because I don't want it to start yet. Now let me plug it up. So let me go ahead and zero out all this information. So you gotta do is just press and hold this button right here. So I'm gonna press it, hold it until everything resets to 0. And let me see what my settings are inside of this. You just hit the button and it switches screens. All right, so it's not gonna go 200 volts is the highest that this will go, so I'm not going to go over 200 volts. Now, since this battery has a BMS inside of it, I don't have to worry about what volts we're going to count down to because the BMS is going to cut it off. Let me get back to the screen I like to see right here because that shows the amps and the voltage. So, Basically, I want to keep an eye on this top number right here, which is how many watts I'm using. I don't want to go over, I try to keep, let's say, keep it around a 150. All I'm doing is turning this knob right here until I get close to the number of 150. 94, 112, 136. All right, so I got 146 watts. And I'm gonna use this bottom one to fine tune it. This one here kind of jumps up fast. The bottom one will go a little slower. So I'm gonna get it about around 150. There, I'm 150 watts. So 11 amps, 150 watts. Now we're just gonna see how long this takes. And what I'm looking at is the watt hours, amp hours and watt hours and the elapsed time. So 1 minute running. Finally got the results of the capacity test. So if you come right here, I got 103 amp hours, 1,303 watt hours, and it took a total time of 10 hours. Rated over capacity and really happy with it. All right, so we're gonna try to see how much juice I can pull out of this Dyness. Okay, so I got my meter right here. It tells me how many amps I'm pulling. I've already tested it accidentally when I was just trying to discharge it. I think I was doing 120 amps. This time I'm gonna try to do 200 amps and see if I can get the BMS to turn off. I'm gonna put the camera on the meter and we'll see if it can do this 200 amp load for 10 seconds. I'm gonna kind of use my watch and count to 10, so. All right, so right now it's on standby mode. So right now it's using about 2 amps. Maybe I can prop this up a little bit for you. Yeah, so right now it's using 2 amps right now. Just have this on standby mode. Alrighty, well, first thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna turn on the table saw. Let's see how many amps that gives me. So it's like 70 amps. Now I'm gonna turn on the gun. Okay, I ran it for about 15 seconds and had no problem. So I gotta hook something else up to see if I can get it over the 200 amp load. I turned on my dust extractor, which is over here. My woodworking dust extractor has a big almost 5 horsepower. So I just turned that on. That is pushing 97 amps. So by turning on the heat gun, over 200. So let's count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Alrighty, so I had a 200 amp load for 15 seconds. So it handled it like a champ. Well, I guess we'll go for broke. I guess we'll turn on all three, the table saw, the vacuum cleaner, and heat gun on low just to see what it does. So that's 200 amps for 15 seconds. Alrighty, well, let's turn on the table saw first. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I'm actually pushing 3,000 watts. Turn everything back off now. Well, zoom back out. Well, I ran into a problem. I thought buying a 3,000 watt inverter would let me test, you know, at least you know, one of these little small batteries. I was hoping this 3,000 watt inverter will let me test the how many amps a battery can push. I just met the limit, 3,000 watts. I can't fully test more than 3,000 watts, but this battery, my goodness, does it have a lot of power it pushes, and it doesn't stop. Only way I can make it stop is for the BMS to do low voltage disconnect or high voltage. My goodness, that is phenomenal. A 12 volt battery can run my table saw, my dust extractor, and my heat gun just from a little bitty small battery. That, I'm just speechless. I can run my whole wood shop from just this little battery. I don't know for how long. Well, I just did something stupid. Trying to get to this battery. I didn't record it, but I was trying to use my normal screwdriver and hammer, and when I got closer here, I ended up scratching myself. So it's not bad, not like I need stitches or anything. It's just kind of like, you know, not good. But anyways, I'll show you what I did. I finally got I finally got this corner up. What I did on the other side is there's a seam right there. What I done was I put the screwdriver in that seam and popped up the end. And what I kept doing was I kept chipping off little pieces off this whole side right here. So if I turn it over here, you'll see that side. And see, here's where it chipped off the lid. So I just kind of like, oh, it's gonna be like one of those gallons of milk where you take that little strap and you go around it. So I ended up getting this whole side off right here. What I done here was I took my screwdriver and my mallet and popped it over here. I didn't want to do it on this side because this is where the screw terminal is right here. So I didn't want to pop it over here. I wanted to pop it over here where there's no wires or anything. So what my plan is now, since I got this corner up, my plan is to just start prying this back side up and pry it off toward the front. Boom. Now let me see if I can get this, if I can just turn it upside down, will it come out? No, I don't see no glue down there. Just in there really good. All right, now since I'm just looking at it, you have, I'm pretty sure this is going to be a 6. 200, going to be a, yep, 6 gauge, 200 degrees Celsius, really good quality wire. So you have 1/6 for the positive, and I'm guessing also 200 degrees on the negative. So you have 2/8 on the 2/8 on the negative, 1/6 on the positive. Everything is 200 degree Celsius jackets. So you got two leads that come from the battery to the BMS, 2 leads that go out. Here's the positive that goes to the BMS. Here are the temperature probes, and looks like they are glued. They are attached right to the cell, and they got tape on the wire as well. And if you look down here, they do have the bus bars, which are the has the bump in the middle, has an expansion joint, so that way the actual cells can move. They are banded, so they actually have one full thing of plastic on all 4 corners of the cells, banded. I love seeing that. I hate seeing the ones that are like this much plastic with a band, nothing. So just like little corner straps. This actually has a full piece of plastic, and it has the compression bands. And there's foam over here. There's foam all around this thing. There's a high density foam on this side, here, here and here that is really compressing the cells into the battery. Really nice. And they are welded bus bars, and I do have a machine screw for the balance leads. As you can see right there, that's the machine screw. And then it's like they do have goop on all the connections to make sure the wires don't come undone. So here, positive, positive, you have the goop here. They got the plastic also right here and also right there. Let's go see if I can see any markings, identify markings on the BMS. There's SH04 COB0A07X1 BMS. Nothing is loose. And what I also love to see is they actually have this wire management. That way nothing is going to get frayed. Because this is also called a trolling motor. So everything is real tight with this high density foam, all four sides. Actually has this plastic wrap on all of the balance leads that goes straight down here. So I love seeing that. That way nothing's going to get chafed on any kind of metal. Like if it didn't, it would actually be rubbing on this metal terminal. But since they have this thing plastic wrapped, there's no chance for it to rub right there. Well, there's no reason for me to really take it all the way out, since we got, I can actually see the cells, laser welded. So what are my thoughts on this 100 amp hour 12 volt Dyness battery? I gotta say, I was really impressed that this thing can handle everything it did, and it just would not give up. This company, I know for sure, warranties everything. They stand behind all the products, the BMS, and if I was gonna go back to 12 volt batteries, this would be the way I would go, would be with Dyness batteries. 20 volt, two of these for a 20 volt, 24 volt system, or 4 of these for a 48 volt system. You can't go wrong. I'm really impressed with the quality of the build and what it can do.